Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Shadow and the Blade, where today we are going to kill 1,000 peasant archers with nearly the worst troops imaginable. It's going to be a nightmare. Come with me on this journey. We're going to pour as much food into this as we can, and let's do it. To be perfectly honest with you, the auto-resolve might have been favorable, but my experience with the auto-resolver has been that whenever it shows you the yellow and red striped area where it's like, I don't know, there's a lot of uncertainty in here, what it actually means is this is going to turn out worse than even the furthest left edge of that area. It does that to bait you into clicking the auto-resolve button, to make you suffer. We're not falling for it. Okay. So Lewin himself is going to be an issue. Lewin himself is going to be a serious issue. We don't have a lot of tools for dealing with him. Okay, so I think a lot of what we're doing here is just marching guys directly toward the enemy at the highest possible speed. We have our own slingers, who are total garbage. We can use the Night Runners and the Gutter Runners to harass the enemies by moving around their flanks, because remember, we can fire while moving, while they have to turn and aim and stuff. I don't really know what to do with the Skaven Slave Slingers. I think there's... I'm actually gonna hold them back, maybe? They can, like, pelt Lewin when he comes in, I guess? And, like, the Globadiers are in a similar spot. And, like, basically the plan is... you guys just run at them. as best you can. You lot, go over here. These guys on this side do kind of the same thing. We're just gonna try to get some of them to turn around. And then everybody else... So, not you guys. So it would have been faster to do this by inclusion than by exclusion. Also move up, but less so. Like the number one thing we have to do here is manage Lewin, right? Also, apparently, it's going to be quite a while before we can summon in our Menace Below charges, which is not ideal. To be perfectly honest with you, I wonder about just going into melee mode and charging here. Night Runners are better fighters than Peasant Bowmen are. Maybe I'm changing my mind. We're just going to attack them directly on the flank. Just pick a unit and run at it. Okay, and here comes Lewin. So now is when we want to start doing a thing. It's probably true for you guys too, right? You guys are reasonable melee combatants. When you put them in melee mode, I believe they do still do ranged attacks. It's just that they will interpret your orders as melee orders. Like, putting them in melee mode won't stop them from slinging as they run forward. Here's a nice dense spot for this. And to be perfectly honest, I think what we want to do is turn one of the units of spears inward and try to get this unit of sword rats to just keep running forward. Also, many guys, get in there, do a thing. Are my units actually gonna, like, just completely give up? Alright, you guys, guard mode off. Lewin Leonkar is the only thing you care about right now. Over here, we're going to be able to drop... You know what? I kind of want to do a Doom Rocket. This would be a waste, right? We shouldn't Doom Rocket here. Also, I should probably turn off guard mode on all of these guys as well. You can see they're doing just fine in their mission of pursuing enemy archers and running them down easily. You guys had a moment of panic. There was a tiny freak out. Nobody's going to pretend you didn't have a little freak out and that it's not basically treason. But the important thing you have to realize is you have the chance to recover. You can still be a person that your terrifying Skaven parents would be proud of, maybe. Possibly. Let us continue to Warp Lightning at every opportunity. Honestly, we should probably just run our Lord into melee with some of these guys. Warlock Engineers are better fighters than Peasant Bowmen, obviously. Turn around and go fight. Stop running away. Alright, just summon rats into the, into wherever the enemy is thickest. Yeah, I'm just realizing we should just make sure guard mode is off for all of our units. Okay. Where is... Okay, Lewin's over there. Yeah, you guys can just keep running this way. We'll keep trying to drop the... Remember, the Doom Rocket doesn't actually do a huge amount of damage to any individual unit. Trying to hit Lewin with a Doom Rocket is probably not worthwhile. You guys probably want to... yeah, just run toward one of these units over here. So the question is it worth spending a Doom Rocket on like 3 units of archers? And honestly, the answer might be yes. But also, remember that us losing this battle matters almost not at all. So we're going to try to win, because it would be a nice way to break the momentum of our opponents if we did it, but we don't need to. It's certainly not a thing we need to spend a lot of resources for. I don't mind spending the food for the Menace Below charges, because those that food was going to evaporate at the beginning of the turn anyway. Did he just heal a bunch? I thought he had taken visible damage, and then it looks like he undamaged. I mean, he totally might have healing items, right? There's no reason to think he couldn't. That could have gone off a little earlier. Right, you guys break that way. You guys keep chasing. You guys do this. Lewin is running around and doing actual work, which is very frustrating. My army looks like it's considering surrender, which bums me out. Yeah, we'll put these guys down here. You guys finish them off. You lot, stop fleeing. Oh, they weren't fleeing. Sorry, you guys were being aggressive. Good work, but go be aggressive elsewhere. Right, we have a lot of units who are on the... Yeah, you can see those guys, even though they're in melee mode, continuing to do ranged attacks, which I really appreciate. Go this way. And then Warp Lightning. You know, even if we lose here, which it's looking increasingly likely that we will, because we don't seem to be able to do literally any damage at all to Lewin, we will at least do a lot of damage to their army. Although that would probably have been true on the auto resolve too. Sure, we're summoning on cooldown. Yeah, I think we're gonna manhandle the peasants very badly, and then Lewin Leoncoeur is going to kill every single unit in the army by himself. You guys go there. You guys go here. You guys aim for that. Lord, get in there and stab just anyone, really. And where are the enemies densest? Oh, right there. Beautiful. Yeah, look at all that. Imagine remaining in battle. Imagine choosing to stay in battle after you see the Warp Lightning. You gotta give him a little bit of credit. You get over here, you guys get back in the battle. I mean, actually, they can chase down their own attackers. You guys get over here. We're gonna need some bodies. Our Lord is fleeing, so that's not great. He might recover. Yeah, it is definitely looking like we are actually going to lose this quite badly. I overestimated how much damage our Globadiers were going to be able to do to Lewin. I figured with their upgrades and stuff, you know, shooting poison gas with damage over time effects on it, we'd be able to make something happen. But it's looking like we are not so lucky. I don't think that this, even if a Doom Rocket would turn this battle around, it's probably not worth spending the Doom Rocket, I think. So those guys are probably under control already, so you fight a little further back. Did my Lord recover? He did. He's being Lewined. We're just going to have him fire off some Warp Lightning as fast as possible. And then Lewin seems to be having trouble landing on him. Maybe it's because I'm so close to blocking terrain here. Alright, get him. Chop him up. Guys, get in. They killed the archer unit that they were after. Okay. Okay, we got some more damage coming back in. But yeah, it is increasingly clear to me that we will never deal visible damage to Luen. Ah well. We have armies coming in. The situation will get resolved. We can probably at this point just go ahead and fast forward the rest of this battle. I had such hopes. Well, we did at least manage to turn some food that would have been wasted at the beginning of the turn into some damage. You know, we removed some enemy units. So that's good. We turned some nothing into some something, even if it's not a very large amount of something. That's not going to work. Oh, I caught one of the units a little bit. Also, can I say, very impressed with how long my units decided to hold out there. Usually, Skaven that don't have access to a real lord break very, very early on. But we actually gave better than we got there. We killed like 50% more of them than they killed of us. And look at the damage Gutter Runners and Night Runners are able to do when they get into the enemy ranged units. I think I have not really been using them in this way. I didn't understand that they were kind of skirmishing cavalry. But yeah, that's interesting. I could definitely have been doing that more. And that's a role that they really needed to fulfill on release, because on release, Doom Flayers didn't exist. You had the Doom Wheel, which can fulfill that role, but it's a tier 5 recruitment thing, so you don't get it until turn 100-something, you know? Okay, a valiant defeat. Aw, he actually took the city. I was kind of hoping he was just going to do the thing they usually do. This battle is probably not worth fighting. Alright, well, obviously we have armies on the way. That's an annoyance, but that's all that it is. So we should be able to take out the rebellion at the heart of the jungle in like 3-ish turns. And then we got to get this resurgence of Bretonia under control. And then we'll actually be... this is Remamute? Yeah, sure. Take a bunch of extra attrition. Alright, so you are... yeah, probably like... one more turn of full sprint mode movement might get us close enough to attack. Or it might take one turn beyond that. In any case, not a big deal. We have nothing here to build. Here we should probably make sure we're just working on stuff in general. You know, things. Stuff and things. Okay. Let's go down the list. Obviously we have Jacques to deal with. That should probably be done by one of these armies over here, because we want them to move forward anyway. Why can I not... hold on. Why can you not be ordered to attack this army? Can you be ordered to attack this army? No. For some reason, I am not allowed to attack that army. Okay, well, we'll do it with Vomik then. Really should be able to do it with any of those guys, though. Okay, and then the question of what exactly we need to leave behind. Is it just a single army? Probably. Somebody's got to stay back and play defense in Lashiek, and I'm gonna nominate maybe Vomik. Yeah, this might be a Vomik job. So what we're actually gonna do with him right now is put him in the water. He's gonna grab that, and then he's gonna go do the thing. Arat is going to cross the ocean. We have another agent over here who is also in ocean crossing mode. Why? Look at the path the game has drawn for him to fulfill the order we gave him earlier. He can get past that in a single move. What happened? I think at some point between us saving the game at the end of last episode and us loading the game at the beginning of this episode, some of the pathfinding got a little screwy. Okay, so that's Vomik's problem, which means everybody else is just boogieing north as hard as humanly possible. As hard as Skavenly possible. And a lot of this can be done in the water. A lot of this is probably best done in the water.
I bring
The people who are already on land probably should stay on land, because getting over to the port is going to be unnecessary additional movement. And we don't need to coordinate very hard here. This is a lot of just running for the moment. Because obviously, even if one of the Bretonnian armies managed to catch us out of position, like, who cares? You know what, you can just go party in Lashiek for the moment, too. Your army's not going to be any use to us on the march at the moment until this event wears off, and he can be providing public order just by sitting in the city. Okay, who else do we need to talk about? Hadar. Can Hadar reach Phyrus this turn? Yes, he can. Alright, this should be a very, very easy win. Then you gotta worry about Repounce, but one problem at a time. Fight them. Yes, yes. His army is a total embarrassment. Ooh, Armor of Fortune. So, unfortunately, I don't remember whether Sartosa is before or after Couronne in the turn order. So I don't know that it will necessarily be meaningful for us to have to ask Sartosa to intervene with Alhaik. And also, we don't want them to take Alhaik, obviously. Staden is exactly where he needs to be, and then obviously we have lots of upgrades to pursue back here still. Growth and probably a bell. If there's an ambush or if there's a rebellion here, it's not a big deal because Stunkridge can just deal with it on his way back. Are we suffering a lot of provincial instability here? No, not really. We just need a bell completed. All right, Phyrus. We work on the build-up. Obviously, that's not a big deal. Hadar has leveled up and will get... What were we working on with him? We were just yellow lining him. We were just making him even tougher and better at fighting Repounce de Lyonesse. So her army is definitely more threatening. Only 2 units of flyers, but like, the Grail Reliquae are not super good against us. A big part of the value of the Grail Reliquae is that they increase the leadership of your units nearby and make them immune to psychology. So armies that rely on fear and terror are really disrupted by the Icon of Devotion, like any melee-focused undead army will be like that. So the leadership difference, I guess, matters a little bit. You know, her army won't give up against us as fast as others do. Apparently this unit has Frenzy. I did not realize that. It doesn't have any... Well, I mean, it kind of has combat stats. I don't think that's very good. And then it has physical resistance for itself. So yeah, we don't... These guys are kind of a waste in this army, but that is just like a lot of good horses. Ready to kill. Pestilich. Man, I do not remember what you were doing. Were you merging into... Yes, you were merging into Bilefitch's army. That's right. I was supposed to have done that. Then, okay. Then we're actually set on that stuff. So we still have 25,000 gold. The Eye of the Panther probably doesn't really need walls. So we'll build... What is the... Okay, it does generate 100 gold per turn. Relative to other things that we can build that give money, like in a settlement where you don't have access to a luxury resource, it might still just be worth building the wall building because it's the best money for the slot, especially relative to the amount you have to put in. And just keep rolling through all of these upgrades. That's right. It actually is kind of important to finish upgrading Couronne because we're going to potentially need it if things go out of control a little bit in the Elf War, which they may. So this actually could be important. It's like Lothern's right there, right? They could send guys over to the northern part of Bretonnia very easily. And you don't necessarily want your recruitment stuff to actually be on the front line. It's nice if it can be like behind a wall of fortified provinces. Okay. So what do we think is going to happen here? Repounce can reach Phyrus, so she could ride over there and just attack Hadar straight up. If she does, that could be a loss for us, but she would take a lot of... The worst case scenario there is she defeats Hadar and takes a considerable amount of damage in doing so, and then we crush her army from all sides afterwards. So like, it's not a big deal. And Hadar's immortal, right? If we lost his army, we have plenty of time to re-recruit. We are not in a situation where an army loss or even a couple of army losses really reduces our immediate military pressure in any way that's meaningful. So we have to sail across the ocean. We have to finish off Corone. Has to happen. We also need to pick up 4 more important settlements. And I don't think, unfortunately, that we get to combine those 2 desires. Interesting, she went elsewhere. I wonder if she went down to attack... Oh, no, she's just... Okay, yeah, she did. She went down to attack the Sartosan army, and then came back for us. Very confident in the power of her troops, it seems like. Well, I think her army loses to Hadar straight up at this point. They took enough damage fighting the Sartosans. But also, I don't think we have to do that straight up. I think we can get a second army into reinforcement range. Okay, Remamute is loyal again. Isn't that nice?
Warlock ready.
So yeah, we just run you up to here.
Warlock on water.
I didn't want to merge the assassin into the army and potentially... The army's movement is limited by the thing in the army that moves the slowest. And armies in march mode usually move further than characters do. So I didn't want to merge him in and reduce our total movement range by enough that this wouldn't work. Oh, you coward! No offensive ambush, huh?
Fully.
Also, did she gain units? She did. That's interesting. You definitely cannot recruit regiments of renown while you're not in friendly... Oh, she was in friendly territory. That's right, she has... I was going to say, as the player, you cannot do the thing she just did. But when she showed up at Pyrus, she only had 17 units left. We saw that. Some kind of cheatiness might have happened here. She might have brought on some regiments of renown while she wasn't actually able to do that thing. Well, I guess we don't need to be in a big hurry. Then her army's not actually that much weaker than it would be at full strength. Alhaik, I suppose, does have walls and a proper garrison. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm debating whether we want to have Hadar chase her down or whether we want to just let it go and mass up around her and take her on in a less risky way. Okay, here's a thing we do know we're doing. Let's start with this. Vomek approaches this at normal speed. Defeats a foe in battle for a large amount of money. That's not even that much. And then his plan is still to go to Lashiek. We're not going to want to have Remamute hanging out there forever. And we need to start setting our positions for Sartosa. So I'm correct in thinking these are the only 2 settlements, right? Okay, yeah. So we have a couple of units, a couple of armies that we want to run way north to attack Sartosa itself. And then we have some other units that need to prepare to take down Kofar. Kofar has a full-sized army in it, but it doesn't have a real garrison, so it shouldn't be too dangerous.
Quick moves.
See if we can maybe draw their attention over here and execute one of those famous Skaven ambushes of ours. Remamute can... I guess Remamute can start moving north. He probably doesn't need settlement replenishment to pull off the single turn, right? Oh, well, you know what? Alright, just hang out. He won't quite go back to full if we don't leave him in a friendly settlement. Because remember, friendly settlement replenishment is better than just standing in a friendly territory.
Don't disappoint me.
Alright, Stunkritch. Yeah, Stunkritch will absolutely be able to attack next turn. Staden doesn't need to do anything. Then we need to get over here and explore the situation a little bit. Because we're going to have to... My guess is we're going to come over here and just raise these two settlements. I don't want to try to hold this stuff. But we do have to get to that point. So you're probably on Sartosa duty? Yeah, I think we have enough people for Kofor. Sartosa is going to be like, well, I was going to say it's going to be properly defended. It does have a real garrison. They don't have an army nearby. They're not expecting the backstab. Does that make me feel bad? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're Skaven. Come on. Let's go ahead and perform the dominating scheme as we always do on cooldown. Just remember that that's a thing we can do. I don't have any idea what I want to do with you yet. Come up here. Alright, looks like that'll be under control real soon. Sorcerer's Islands definitely is a priority. And we have a question now of whether it makes sense to start recruiting another army. What would be the cost of starting the new army? Almost 20,000 gold per turn. We have a couple of different lords who are reasonable. We have a level 23 Warlock Master. That's probably the guy, right? Yeah, we could bring on a new level 20, but I don't see why we would do that. And none of these other guys would be better than a new level 20. So, if we bring on Toxidin, who will not increase our army upkeep by quite the same amount for some reason, and then recruit a 13,000 gold per turn army, will be just about level, which is not so bad. I think we're going to hold off on that for one more turn. We'll just give ourselves a little bit of a bank first. And so we're not going to zoom around and do improvements to anything. I am actually trying to bank 60,000 gold. That is the plan right now. Because I don't know what other important upgrades we might need to do. We may need to suddenly push a lot of buildings. I mean, we're going to need to finish upgrading Corone at the very least, which is not going to be a cheap prospect once those tier 4 buildings finish. And it's totally possible that the new army we recruit would be a 13,000 gold per turn army, because a couple of our armies are already. Like that, it looks like that's about what a good Skaven army costs per turn. We do want to close up this Alhaik situation quickly, because I want to be able to turn on the Sartosans. What on earth is she doing? That wasn't even a run forward and realize there's an ambush and then run away situation. She knew that army was not in ambush mode. She knew that army was there. Why did she run over to them and then run back away? The AI, you know, you drive yourself crazy trying to imagine why they do things. Okay, so this was not a rebel army of Orion's faction, so obviously they will not reconstitute Orion. But now we do have to rebuild our fortress, or our forest. And the rebel army, their goal accomplished, simply disperses into the night. This is a little annoying. Obviously colonize. Build it. Build it. And we're going to have to just sit here for a minute, probably. That's okay. We have a little bit of healing to do anyway. The Bone Clubbers tribe has spawned, and probably they need to be eliminated. So, what's the situation down here with Sudenburg? Could we avoid... Yes, we are totally going to avoid the rebellion. I'm going to turn off taxation here for a while as well. So I guess that's what Stunkrich is doing. He's heading up there to deal with that rogue army instead of coming back over here to fight a rebellion. Alright, let's have Ikiclaw and Queek reclaim Alhaik real quick. Should be totally trivial.
We go stalking. My technocracy.
And then, do we actually need him to participate in this? No. Wow, we took way more damage there than we should have. And we accomplished a mission. 500 gold. It's like it's my birthday. Alright, does anybody have movement to attack Repents right now? It's hard to tell because the damn tooltip is exactly where I need it not to be. Okay, there is no red arrow. Yes, I think we do, in fact, have the ability to launch this attack. So let's move you over into a reinforcing position. And Hadar, go get her. Yeah, she spent her movement in a very strange way on her turn, and now she will suffer for it. Couldn't even kill the Skaven slaves. Alright. Bilefitch can now slow down enough to accept his friend. And then he gets back in the water because he's going to Sartosa? Leaf Floater is a terrible name. Buddy, you're a pirate. You could just pick a cool pirate name and nobody even gets to argue with you about that. You can definitely do better than Leaf Floater. Alright, so now that we know that we don't have to be concerned about this Bretonnian army rampaging across our territory, everybody moves into positions to attack Sartosa. So, what do those look like? We're going to need a couple of people. Probably we only need like 2 stacks for this part, for the part where we actually attack Sartosa itself. We do have High Elf armies in the water over here, don't we? I don't have great vision, but I think we do. So that makes me a little leery of pulling Infectique, which I might otherwise do since he's like kind of in the right area. We'll just use the armies from down here. So Vomik. Vomik needs one more unit in his army too. I don't know exactly what we're going to do about that. You have Assassin's Trophy? You do not. That is what you're working on. So we don't want to fold this assassin into Vomik's army. I will just grab a random unit somewhere. Yeah, you just get over here. Deathmaster Snikch is at full health and ready to do the thing. I'm just going to have him consolidate over there. Picket Claw cannot get out of the attrition desert. That's fine. I don't want to wait. You know, we could wait a couple of turns for like Picket Claw and Hadar to return to full strength, but I don't want to wait. It was Vomik that was supposed to stay back. Now whatever. It doesn't really matter. That's weird that Seeprich's thing is here. So yeah, we could wait a couple of turns to heal up, but I don't want to because they just took a serious military loss and I want to capitalize on that. So we're probably planning to declare on the next turn. We don't really have anybody in range for Sartosa. It would probably be best for us to wait one more turn beyond that. Except in the sense that it lets Araness Assault Spite recruit more units, which obviously is not great for us.
Poison blade.
Alright. We're using these guys spread out wide like this just to keep an eye on anything that might be coming over the ocean. He's probably too far south. Further than he needs to be anyway. Alright, they have a couple of minor settlements, and these are their only 2 remaining, right? I think it makes sense to do the Sartosa thing before we try to sail across for this. Right, like I said, we want to do it while they're relatively weak. So you are definitely headed for Sartosa. We have enough people on the other one. Cheery Flesh, you know what? I'm going to put Cheery Flesh on Galleon's graveyard duty. He's going to come up here and just watch and keep an eye on the Dreadfleet, because we need to betray them as well for their wonderful, wonderful settlement, which appears to just be a whirlpool near some rocks, but apparently it's very important in an objective sense. Alright, so let's recruit another army. I think we can totally afford to do this. We'll grab Toxodon. And we'll start putting together a force. Toxidin, what is your skill set? Okay. Weapons and general engineering type stuff. He has a doom wheel. Does he have any of the weird equipment? He does not have any of the weird equipment. In fact, he's just not wearing all that much equipment. He's probably not going to do a huge amount of melee attacking, and when he does, we want him to be debuffing his enemies. And then, like, Talisman of Endurance. Just take less damage. Also, you can... do we have any... Yes, we do have some reasonable followers. He definitely doesn't need a breeder. Messenger's good. We'll replace that breeder with something. Scribe is very good. We obviously don't need a Hell Pit Attendant anymore. We're probably going to be fighting men and elves, mostly, for the rest of the campaign. So, a Man-Thing Slave totally works. And also, plus 10% income in the region he's standing in right now is relevant. And then we'll just give him... What's the best banner? I do like a Banner of Eternal Flame. Mostly because it's cool to make your units do fire damage, not because it's effective. I mean, melee attack up is pretty good. I guess we'll do that. Okay. And then the Featherfoe Torque. Is this the right option here? This makes flying units less effective in the area. I guess we might end up against some flying stuff, but probably we're better off just giving him, like, a potion of healing. Reduces the magic resistance of enemies within 55 meters. You know what? Warlock Masters tend to get kind of close to combat. Alright, and then his army is gonna be fancy weapon team heavy. I mean, that's pretty much the armies that we're building lately, right? So I'm gonna take more Jezzails than I've been taking in our other armies, partly because we are going to be up against a force where I think we're going to see smaller numbers of tougher units. So let's say we do... Yeah, I mean, we're going to want units of Doom Flayers, Plague Claw Catapults, and some of this. And then... we're going to prep for horses, basically. And some units of Halberd, Storm Vermin, and then some guys whose job it is just to live. Just survive in combat for a while. And do we want to give him an assassin too? No, I think we're just going to do that. Okay, 4 turns of recruitment. That is going to be a very expensive army when all is said and done. And where do we need to do important upgrades? How many turns are left before we have to move some more Corone stuff up? Oh, actually, we can start now. Also, the economic buildings should probably be getting upgraded. God, we just have so much. We have so much territory. We took over so fast, and we did not have time to max it all out. And I got distracted quickly afterward because, you know, there's a lot going on the Mortal Empire's map as a whole. It's a pretty big place. We just have an empty construction slot here. That's not right. That shouldn't be the case. Now give me one of these. Oh, Blackstone Post has tons of empty slots as well. Actually, hold on. We'd probably be better off... Oh no, we can't quite afford that. Well, never mind then. Just go ahead and upgrade this thing. Yeah, alright. There's still a lot of economic work to do, but we're trying to make sure we're ready for the future. Alright, so I don't know. Next turn might be the time. Listen, if we manage to crush their entire army at Kofir and just leave them with Sartosa and one floating army nearby, the Dreadfleet is dissolving our agreements. Do they intend to turn on me? What would possibly be the benefit of that for them? Maybe they're trying to curry favor with somebody else? You do get positive diplomatic points with a faction for breaking agreements with and just kind of generally being a dick to their enemy factions. So maybe he's trying to get the elves to like him enough to take a peace treaty or something? I don't know. I can't really imagine what he could possibly be trying to accomplish. Now, unfortunately, we are going to have to deal with Coronian agents in our land being annoying for quite some time. Here comes Sir John the Devoted. He's probably got like 2 or 3 turns of sailing before he even hits the shore, so we got plenty of time to react to that. Oh, Mad Mullitson has come for us. A highly upgraded army of units that is just going to get mowed down by my guns, presumably. Poor Hellpit Abomination almost died. We could have fought that battle manually, but you know what it looks like when we kill a bunch of large units by shooting them. In practice, that would have felt a lot like a Lizardman fight because he was on some heavy infantry units and stuff. How about we give Scheif bonus loyalty? Enemy siege holdout time -3 turns. Huh. A new form of directed explosive has been devised for weakening walls. Interesting. Not a thing we care about. Not an effect we care about. I should be more specific. Well... Ooh. Lee Floater's army does not look all that good. So these Sartosan Free Company guys, these are just... Well, I guess they're not terrible. I was going to say these are just low-tier infantry. But actually... 6 points of bonus versus infantry on 34 attack. These are not horrible. Yeah, I think we're probably just going to have Bilefitch and Seabrich eat that guy. Right, them sailing Margaret King out to sea is really... This is a bad time for them to do that. So I think this is the moment of our betrayal. I wish to join you on this voyage. The murder voyage. The Dreadfleet broke the alliance rather than join them against us. That is, it's smart. That's good self-preservation. But it's also quite funny. Alright, so let's have you move into here. Fighting a pirate army on the water is not, like, totally ideal. But I think it behooves us to jump these guys now while they're easy to grab. I'm assuming we don't have the possibility of an ambush here. Yeah, that'll be completely trivial to clean up. So we sent him down to Davy Jones's locker. Do they have a Davy Jones figure in Warhammer Fantasy? I'm not actually sure. It might be RNS Assault Spite, to be perfectly honest with you. We might have just killed the Davy Jones figure. Alright, you can sail all the way up to here. It looks to me like we're probably not attacking Sartosa next turn. My guess is it's going to take a little bit longer to get Bilefitch up on land. But I think that's that under control. Obviously, pretty easy for us to get this down, since they sailed their army away. There is a huge, terrifying pirate monster. Good old Charlie Blubberbait. But he is unlikely to be able to affect this battle very much. Alright, and they are now out of... we may as well take this at a higher level. They are now out of settlements. Ooh, regeneration when fighting at sea. That's pretty cool. That's a cool trait. It is unlikely to be terribly relevant to us at this point. Ooh, I didn't realize Kofor had a special thing. These seem like normal docks. Are these different than normal docks? Maybe they're different for some people? I don't know why that... Huh. Well, whatever. Now we have control of this province, so we can lower our food expenditure rate even more. Amik has all of the yellow skills except the charge bonus, so I guess we'll take it. As unlikely as it is to matter. Okay, you are actually going to go back and hang out in Lashiek now. Alright, so he'll keep order and make everything okay-ish. And then we do have the basic weapon building. We probably want to wait one more turn. Or wait until we have one more upgrade on that weapon building, and then recruit for the final slot in his army. And what do we want to do with you guys? You don't actually need to report to the fight for Sartosa. I think that's pretty resolved. I guess they should just go back to friendly settlements, because they're both pretty injured. We could use that faster replenishment. And then once they're feeling tip-top, we can send them in the direction of the Galleon's graveyard. Probably, what's-his-name, with the beard, thinks he avoided something pretty terrible by electing not to declare war on me, but he has no idea. No idea how dedicated I am to the idea of killing him and stealing everything he owns. Alright, so also, what do I want to do with you guys? There's a chance Margaret King's going to turn around. I don't know, I'm just going to have Remamute sit really close to the settlement in ambush mode, in the hopes of not scaring her off. Adar's good. Stunkritch is... We want to have him hang out for another couple of turns. I just like public order. It's important to continue pushing public order up here. I'm going to have him sit for at least one more turn. He's generating 20 points of public order. And then we'll, hopefully we'll be able to build a bell here before it could rebel again on us. It looks like everybody's doing what they need to do aside from that. Akorm apparently has leveled up. Oh, actually, he had multiple skill points. Do we just want more magic stuff? We probably just want more magic stuff. Veil of Shadows is pretty cool. Yep, and then we just have characters to work through. Most of whom are not going to do anything at all. See, he probably doesn't need to be this far south. Even if stuff is coming out of the Mangrove Coast or Chupiatl, if he's like up here, he'll still be able to see that. And that means we can move Erat a little bit further north and watch for stuff coming out of the Awakening, potentially. Yeah, and be able to see more stuff like that. So, neither of you are an actual danger to us, right? This army's okay, but we'll be able to have enough people to do stuff about it. You cannot hero action people while your heroes are embarked. But he'll just keep sailing in the direction of that settlement we're trying to keep an eye on. Upside is killing Bretonnian agents, I guess? He doesn't really have a lot of value to do here. We do just kind of have too many agents. Numas probably ought to get upgraded, and then we still have a ton of income. Way more than I thought we were going to have. Let's continue building up Arquilon. Hold on. Are we... Corone is always top priority. Yep, and next turn we're going to finish a couple more buildings that we do need to upgrade. Alright, so we'll just work on whatever's nearby. That could get maxed. We cannot build one of these. Oh, right, we already have one under construction. Yeah, get me a Pestilent Knave and a defensive structure. That seems smart. Okay, that ought to do for that. I mean, we are still gaining gold every turn. Part of the reason that we hire on a guy who's going to lower our income by a certain amount and then it doesn't actually lower by that amount is, remember, we are constantly building new income structures. So Margaret King, I don't think will necessarily suffer attrition from not having any settlements, because the pirate factions have some slightly different rules. Which sure does look like that lower elf army is coming for us. A Lithanar might be coming for us too, or might be headed to the Norskin area. But yeah, it's entirely possible that Margaret King will just sail off to try to find somewhere else to settle. And remember, we do actually have to have Sartosa killed for our objectives. We can't just let her get away and live a life in the distance. For some reason, it's very, very important that we remove her from the earth. Charlie Blubberbait's gonna damage a building in Kofar? That's... huh. Okay, she's just gonna sail for our homeland, I think. That's fine. We can chase her, obviously. We'll probably chase with the two units that are in the two armies that are in Kofar now. Or maybe not. Maybe not with both of them. Maybe we'll break off an army from somewhere else and just chase with one of those two, because we should probably leave another army to help Vomik defend against the Coronian incursion. Also, it's been a really long time since Vashnar has done anything. I guess he'll strengthen up, he'll feel stronger, and then he'll go and burn his... Oh, the Dread Fleet were obliterated. Hold on a second. Does that mean Coron owns the Galleon's Graveyard now? It does. Well, I guess that's one more person we don't have to betray. You know, there's something to be said for that, I guess. Okay, so... Jimbo the Creeper. Truly a terrifying name. You get up here and... Him doing that should suppress the zone of control of the city, so Bilefitch might be able to just get right up on the beach next to him. Yeah, okay, it looks like it. So actually, maybe we can take Sartosa this turn. And then we shall see if indeed it is the case that this pirate army does not suffer attrition for not having a home settlement. Alright, ownership of Sartosa is a big deal. It's a thing we've been working toward for a long time. The Peg Street Pawn Shop produces very small amounts of several different luxury resources. Okay, that's fine. And then the Sartosa settlement itself has a unique building, but it looks like it doesn't really give anything special. Alright, you are just going to recruit 3 new units of Death Runners, I guess. Actually, he kind of needs more Storm Vermin. Yeah, this army's a little bit soft. Why don't we do that instead? Alright, so Queek's just going to hang out for a while. Bilefitch is 100% out of movement. Alright, so let's... Okay, Burger King is in fact suffering for not controlling a home region. There's some special stuff going on with the pirate faction. I think if the army that they had left was Aranessa Saltspite, then they might not be suffering attrition. But the good news here is that means that we don't actually have to pursue her. She has to figure out a way to take over a settlement, and she has to do it relatively quickly. So she will come to us. Which means that we can turn... I mean, she'll take a fight if we offer her a fight, probably. Is Hadar in good shape? Hadar's in okay shape. We'll have these two pursue her. And I guess Remamute and Snitch can head out in that direction as well, or just... Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna leave one other army behind over here. Let's have it be Remamute. Because obviously Snitch is very powerful. It would be cool to let him continue being an offensive force. Alright, so Remamute stays on that. Snitch will not get in the water this turn, probably. I don't want to make myself too available for her to attack. Alright, so Vomik is exactly where Vomik needs to be, except he needs to recruit a thing. I guess we could just take on the Tail Slashers. We should probably leave the Tail Slashers in the pool. Can we... Okay. We can start the upgrade toward the Rattling Guns here. We could also, I guess, just have him pull Rattling Gun from the global pool. Yeah, why not? Okay. Stuncritch. This is the turn, I think, where we just get moving. And see them way off in the distance over there. Get to them before they declare war on us. And we can turn off taxation here. So it's going to be 4 turns until we have the ability to build the bell, and then it's probably going to take like 6 turns to actually make the bell happen. We have plenty of time. It should be fine. Infectique and Shife are maybe in the right places already. Maybe. You know what? We can get Ikit Cloud here as well. See no reason not to. We're definitely having some problems with units' name tags not being attached to them anymore. I have no idea why that is happening. I also don't know how to fix it. I assume that if we, when we quit the game and then reload, that will no longer be an issue anymore. It's hard to tell exactly where the edge of our vision is here. Because we no longer have vision of those Corone forces, which makes me a little nervous. I guess the edge of our vision is the edge of the fog, right? Okay, that's where Sir John the Devoted is. I mean, we've got it under control. He is not a threat to us. You, more than ever, need to get an eye on whatever the hell is happening over here. Assuming he will not have a very good chance of getting this done. You know what? You're cool. Just hang out for a turn. Okay, here we want even more bells. And probably turn taxation back on at this point. That second bell will definitely make sure this is secure. Alright, oh, right, sorry. Before I just go into let's make more money mode, let's make sure that Corone is getting its upgrades, because some of these are going to be expensive. Okay. There we go. You can see armies, units in that army are starting to complete recruitment. We're seeing the number dip a little bit. This is just some Eshin sorcerer. I have no idea who we are even looking at here. Oh, Infectix sorcerer. Okay. And down in Sartosa, they make food. We might have to leave an army in Sartosa for a little while, because it's obviously public order there is going to be a little weird for a minute. Alright, let's see what Margaret King chooses to do with what are probably her last days above the water level. Sometimes, when you reduce... Okay, we definitely need to move in that direction. When you reduce a faction to just one army, they panic and hurl themselves at you suicidally, like we've seen before. I'm thinking that's probably what she's going to do, rather than trying to, like, figure out where she could potentially take a settlement and try to survive. I guess we will find out. If she wanted to try to take a settlement and survive, her best bet would probably be to sail south and try to take, like, Sorcerer's Islands or Kofur before we get it developed. I guess she sees Pyrus doesn't have a wall, and she's thinking of that. Well, she's definitely dead then. That army is not going to be able to escape our ships. I hesitate to think of how seaworthy a Skaven ship would be. Also, apparently, new rogue army, raiding us up north. That's annoying. Okay, let's take her out. This should be pretty straightforward. Let's have it be Seeprich and Hadar.
Big puddle.
Yeah, yes, Big Puddle. You got that right, buddy.
Order, listen. Stalk.
Alright, we are checking things off the list with remarkable speed here. So Pirates of Sartosa are destroyed. We are now one step closer, and I feel bad about it. It's not appropriate Skaven roleplay to have remorse for things. But they helped us, you know, they were on our side the whole game, and also they helped us at a couple of, like, pivotal moments, right? The presence of Sartosan armies eased a whole bunch of things over the course of the game. So it does feel like a little crappy. But the objective list is the objective list, and it will not be reasoned with. So, hold on, before we give him orders, I really want to see if there's an army at the Galleon's graveyard. I guess I just don't want him to separate too much from these two. We could have him go over to the Skull Reef. Is there a place around here where I can not be in attrition mode? No, so we'd have to spend at least one full turn in attrition mode. You know what? We don't need the money. Just go chill with your friends. Right here, just short of the deep water. What is going on with their ships? They have big... Is that a ship-to-ship weapon, or is this just a counterbalance because they built the rest of the ship wrong, or... Huh. I don't know. It's just like, it's just floating mad science, right? That would make me very nervous.
Let the bell scream, scream.
We might want you to... It looks like Sir John's going for Kofor. Let's have you step out of Kofor, get into ambush mode, and then maybe have Remamute do the same thing. Can he get over there while maintaining enough movement? We'll just have him be nearby. He does not move quite fast enough for the thing I really wanted him to do. He probably doesn't have enough plus movement range followers and stuff. Okay, so now that you have that, we have 5 more skill points coming after this. We could, I suppose, push Blue up to get Draftmaster in case we need to recruit new units. We could grab Blade Shield or Expeditious Endeavor, but maybe the right thing to do is just to grab more Redline stuff. Like what is in his army that's not currently covered? Weapon teams, this stuff, actually nothing. Right, engineering skill covers the Doomflayers and the Siege stuff. Blastmaster has all the weapon teams, Respected and Feared is all his melee units. Okay, maybe we do just take melee defense and speed. We just, like, finish yellow lining him. Probably not strictly necessary. Murta has leveled up and gets Counter-Strike. Infectique should probably actually move. We don't know exactly what Balmir plans to do, but I want to be in a slightly better position for it. Alright, Toxidin's recruiting, and yeah, okay, we're good. No, wait, Bilefitch.
Master Engineer.
Yeah, Bilefitch probably just needs to head over here with the rest of the sea armies. I don't know exactly what our plan is. Maybe it's like split 2 of these to the west, and 2 of them to Galleon's Graveyard. And Stunkritch is maybe the one who's going to handle the other newer rogue army as well. I mean, I know they're like very far to the north, but I don't know what else. Who else would we send to do this? Where even are they? The heirs, the new heirs of Morkane? Oh, geez, all the way up here. Liesel von Falkenstein. How was anyone ever afraid of a vampire? Alright, Rel probably doesn't need to go anywhere. Rel's fine, just serving as a beacon of info. And again, probably before we do anything else, let's just make sure Corone has all of the upgrades. Okay. Nothing is going to be ready for an upgrade for a minute. So let's just level up random stuff around the world. Hooray! Get all of the green structures leveled up as much as possible, as always. We could probably do some auto-governor. You know what? I don't know if there is an automatic governor in this game. There definitely should be. But that's not the same thing as there definitely is. Alright, you head back this way. John the Devoted is in vision from the coast at this point, so I just want to keep an eye on what's going on with these settlements over here.
Who killed?
This turn, Obside could try to remove some Coronian agents from the map. Limit their vision and their chances of breaking our ambushes and stuff. And we're going to run one more sequence of enemy turns before the end of the video here, but let's just have a look at this list again. So there are still some places that we're corrupting out. I wouldn't worry about it. We're getting there. We do still have to finish off Corone, but look at how many check marks. And now that we have Sartosa, it's just Galleon's Graveyard +2. The Awakening is right on the coast here. And it's possible that even if we do still think like we have to go to Elf Island, it's possible that Lothern plus the Awakening is easier than Lothern plus Gian Vale, which is right here, which we've never had vision of. The other ones are definitely kind of awkward to get to. Like, Itza is very deep in the continent. Hexawaddle is technically coastal, but you have to sail all the way into this bay, which is not ideal. And then Negarond is on the extreme opposite end of the map. It's probably not a thing that can actually happen. And we only have 3 vials of warp fuel, so no more doom rockets for me. Soon, though. Not that we necessarily need them, because who knows if we will ever actually spend another one. Alright. Has in fact hit the shore. Okay, I think this new army that we're recruiting is about to have some work to do. So some of these armies that I was thinking of as sea armies are actually going to be defense of the homeland armies, because it looks like Lothern is coming out against us in force here. I was wondering when that was going to happen. I mean, we knew it was going to, right? So we have basically just one army playing backfield rogue defense. We'll probably have them settle down in Castle Drakenhof or something, somewhere around Sylvania, so that they can range to the far northern or far southern end of our empire as needed. Because rogue armies are going to keep spawning. We are going to have to keep somebody on hand for that. And then we're going to have to probably devote more armies now to official, formal defense of our northern territories. Because this is not going to be Lothern's only push, right? If we repel them here, they're not going to go, oh, well, I'd better not mess with that guy in the future. Well, the good news is, there being high elves in my lands does give Vashnar something to do. Always plus loyalty. Earn the following amount from raiding. I don't... Who am I going to raid? All of my units are going to be in my territory all the time. Alright, well, I think that has probably got to be it for us for today's Toxodon. Okay, Toxodon just finished recruiting. What a good time. So, we don't know exactly what's going on with these high elves, but we know they have some pretty impressive units here. The Sisters of Avalorn are very, very powerful magic archers. I think they even have... well, this is the thing all high elves have. I thought they had a spell? I believe there's some kind of elite elf unit that has a spell. I thought it was... whatever. They do have a moon dragon, though. A real, actual moon dragon. Man, that seems like a bad time. And then they have a whole bunch of Sword Masters of Hoeth. Their name gives you a clue as to what their deal is. They're really good with a sword. 61 melee attack. They have a considerable anti-infantry bonus. And they can use their two-handed swords to block incoming arrows, which is why they have, effectively, small arms, the small shield trait. They're tough. We don't have anything that is their equal in melee combat. We don't have anything that's even close to their equal in melee combat. Except, you know, for characters. Like, Sniksh could probably take some Sword Masters. And they are going to survive against the gunshots a little bit better than most because of their deflection ability. This is going to be tough. Fighting high elves is going to be tough for us. I think this is a bad matchup. Unfortunate, then, that that's what we're going to be doing for probably the rest of the campaign. The silver lining there is that if we're aggressive enough, the rest of the campaign doesn't have to be a very long time. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time on Monday for the beginning of the final chapter. It's Elf Wars, and we'll see you then.